Let me know if you guys can hear me. Hey, y'all. Hey. So, hey, welcome to the channel. It's your girl, Chrissy Pips. In today's lesson, we are going over understanding the technical side of cryptocurrency. So, if you guys are watching the recording, okay, this is our Thursday live session. We go live on TikTok on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I start a little bit early just to give everybody the opportunity to come on in. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me okay, so that we don't have that little mishap, because I was just talking for a couple minutes and realized that my mic was not on. So let me know if y'all can hear me. But today's lesson is going to be a little bit technical. We are slowly getting into the thick of things as it relates to our cryptocurrency conversations for our classes. I hope you guys have been enjoying everything. I am going to go in depth in the more technical aspects of cryptocurrency. So by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to answer a few questions. You'll be able to answer a question. What is blockchain technology? You'll also be able to give me the names. You'll be able to tell people the names of unique blockchain technologies. You'll be able to discuss consensus algorithms, right? You'll know what consensus algorithms are, and you'll know different types of consensus algorithms as well. And we will not go a session without pros and cons. So we will be covering pros and cons of just different algorithms as well. But we start promptly at 8. So thank you everybody for hopping in. We got 2 minutes left. So let's let everybody get a chance to hop in. If you know somebody that's usually on this live and, they haven't popped in yet, go ahead and send out those messages. Hey, y'all. Hey. How y'all doing? What up, though? Hey, there goes Rumi. Rumi, I was waiting for your name to pop in the chat. For real. I know. Let's see. It's a couple other people. Yup. A couple other students that I have seen in every single class. I will be dropping some special content for you guys because I can see y'all right in the chat. Y'all pop up a little bit different for me, so I can see y'all in the chat. And I will be dropping some special content for y'all. I think I'm going to give away this PDF to my diehard students. It's a couple of y'all who I've seen in all of the classes who participates and asks very intelligent questions. So, yeah, the PDFs are always in the description box of the YouTube channel video where the recording plays. If you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can catch the recording, so that you can be part of the community conversations, click that little box up there. That is my YouTube channel. But let's get into it. So in today's lesson, it's definitely more technical than you might feel that you're ready to get into. But you're ready for the technical side, because I want you to understand the ins and outs, and understanding this part is going to be integral for you understanding what you're looking at when you're researching. Okay? So that's kind of why this lesson feels big, feels technical, and is early on. This is only our third lesson, but this is the order of my course. I told you guys I'm giving you my course that I typically charge for free on these lives. At least the first, I think I'm doing 8 or 9 videos with you guys. No, you're not late. You just got here. You on time. Remember, we start at 7, so we just getting into it. Thank y'all so much for coming in, though. But there are a few questions. So for those of you who are taking notes, we are diving deeper into the what is blockchain conversation. I want to give you guys some more detailed information. So a blockchain is a distributed ledger that records all of the transactions on a network. We've talked about this. You guys are familiar with that, right? The transactions are grouped together into blocks, which are added to the blockchain in chronological order. Okay, this is part of what we discussed in last week's class. Some blockchains use different consensus mechanisms, right? And that may allow them to be more flexible in modifying previous blocks. For example, some permission blockchains allow for trusted parties to make changes to the ledger. While other blockchains, like we talked about last week, like Bitcoin, those blockchains use a consensus mechanism that won't allow any changes. There are some blockchains that use consensus mechanisms that allow for more frequent modifications, but sacrifice decentralization and security. So this is when we get a little deeper into that conversation, okay? So in general, blockchains that use proof of work or proof of stake consensus mechanisms, similar to Bitcoin, make it extremely difficult, if not impossible, to modify previously added blocks. And you know that those are the consensus algorithms that we prefer, okay? The ones that are harder to change, manipulate, alter, right? We like the proof of work, proof of stake type. And that's for our security, okay? And this is because changing a block would require redoing the work of all of the blocks that preceded the one that needs to be modified. And it also requires you to obtain majority of the network's computing power. So modifying blocks on the blockchain is not necessarily a good thing. In most cases, it's not even needed. And it takes away from computing power. It slows down the network. It slows down transactions. So that is why I personally prefer cryptocurrencies that use that proof of work, proof of stake consensus mechanism, because the modification is not necessary, right? It's not necessary. So it's highly unlikely that modification would occur in a lot of these blockchains. So let's talk about some of the unique blockchain properties. So if you guys are taking notes, the first one is going to be decentralization. We talked about this last week. Decentralization is definitely, thank you. Decentralization is the top thing that I look for when I'm looking at different cryptocurrency investments, even other outside investments that are more IoT technology or Internet of Things technology, even some of the just different digital assets. When we're talking about, well, we'll get into it, but decentralization is one thing that I look at and look for in something that I'm going to invest in. Because remember when we talked about last week, decentralization just means that you guys are not participating in something that has a bank attached to it, that has government oversight attached to it, and we like our anonymity. Decentralization gives us that anonymity. Blockchains that are decentralized networks, they are maintained by a large number of nodes rather than a single entity or central authority. Okay, and this can provide an increase in security, resilience, censorship resistance, right? We're not here for the censorship. That's why we like the decentralization. And it can also reduce the risk of like a single point failure, because it is a collective of people, of groups of computers that are all relying on each other to make sure that things are moving smoothly. So we like that part. Okay. So the next one, if you are taking notes, is going to be immutability. Okay. Once a block is added to the blockchain, in most cases, it cannot be altered, edited, modified, changed, or deleted without consensus from the network. It's like that board of directors all has to sit down at the table and say, yeah, we can do that because this. It has to be verified and it has to be validated. Okay? This can provide a high level of trust and security when transactions are permanently recorded. They cannot be tampered with, though. And that's why I like immutability. That is why that is the second property that we are talking about. As a result, the immutability of a blockchain is one of its key features, and is critical to its security and trustworthiness. Okay, so if you guys are taking notes, decentralization, immutability. The reason why we're going through today's lesson is because when I start teaching you guys how to research these assets, because I know some of y'all are like, well, what coin do I? We don't do that here, just so you know. But these terms I'm giving you are so that when we go through the lesson of how to do your research of your projects before you put your money in, you're going to know what to look for. And I'm giving you a full list so that even if there's something that's appealing to you that's not necessarily appealing to me, I'm giving you an unbiased lesson. Okay? That's why we go through pros and cons. But our third term for this lesson is going to be transparency. A blockchain that has a transparent ledger, it means that it's visible to all of the nodes on the network. This can provide increased accountability and reduce the risk of fraud or corruption. It's like standing center stage with a whole bunch of eyes looking at you, trying to pickpocket the person next to you. Like, no, it's very transparent here. We like that. We like to be able to see everything that's happening so that there is a checks and balances system, so that we do feel more comfortable when we're investing. Okay? Like that's is super important to our security, transparency, for me anyway. The next one is actually security. That is the next term. Blockchains use cryptographic techniques to ensure the security and integrity of the network. Right? We talked about cryptography last week when I gave you guys the project where you were creating that password, right? Right, exactly. We're not about to play no games with this money. But when I gave you the lesson about creating the passwords, when we talked about ProtonMail, and that lesson is coming, okay? Finishing up the screenshots. But when we talked about that, we wanted to make sure, and I wanted to make sure for you guys, to give you a clear explanation as to why I do use ProtonMail as an email, and it is because of their cryptography. It is because if I am sending a message to Rumi is the only person who can receive it and actually decrypt it so that Rumi can read it. Okay? Anybody who intercepts the transmission in between would not be able to decipher it because it's not meant for anybody but Rumi. Okay? So security in those transactions, that's one of the things that I look for also. So the next one is pseudonymity, which is a real weird word. Don't judge my life. But transactions on a blockchain are usually associated with a public address rather than a real world identity. So you get a pseudonym, but your pseudonym can be a 24 character long alphanumeric little thing of address. So it doesn't have anything to do with you, your real life, your address, birthday, none of that. It's like generated by the computer for you for that transaction. So when we get into the lessons about wallets, I'll show you a wallet that gives you a different transaction ID, like for you each time, like a different wallet address each time, but it all goes into your one wallet, and it is for security reasons. So that's part of the reason why I use it. But we will cover that too. But pseudonymity is just means transactions on the blockchain are usually associated with that public address rather than a real world identity. This can provide a degree of privacy. It prevents tracing of transactions to individuals, but it does not prevent the tracing of transactions to specific addresses in most cases. Okay? Let's see. If Rumi has a Gmail account, will he need to do anything special to decrypt email from ProtonMail? So, what it is if you are sending an email from a Gmail to a ProtonMail, it does have some susceptibility because it is Gmail. But if you're sending from Proton to another email, it has to be decrypted. And I prefer Proton to Proton because there are less weaknesses and vulnerabilities. But if you're sending from Proton to Gmail, I don't know how many stops there are before it actually would get to Rumi's email, because there are so many trackers and everything. And in the lesson, I have covered, no problem, I have covered DuckDuckGo, because you guys asked me for DuckDuckGo and Proton Mail, and DuckDuckGo gives you a email mask. So when I drop that video, you guys will have access to that. If you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, you're going to have access to that before the public gets it. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button, because it'll be out 24 hours or maybe 48 hours before I put it out to the public. And then we'll go over some discussion too. I'll drop some discussion, conversation, questions in the community. Or what does it say? I don't remember what it said, because somebody asked, what am I looking for? Not my studio. Let's see. Or am I looking for my studio? Someone asked me last week, they said that they couldn't see the community tab, and I had to show them. It doesn't say community. It says something else. One of y'all remind me before we hop off, because I want to show y'all what it says. It doesn't say community for you guys, and I didn't know that. It says posts. So where it says posts, that's where you can see all the community stuff. But so our next term, because I get sidetracked, don't judge me. Our next term is programmability. Some blockchains, like Ethereum, for instance, allows for the creation of smart contracts and decentralized applications, or DApps. If you hear the term DApps, it just means a decentralized application. And this can enable a wide range of use cases for tokens and for tokenization and for asset management, for everything from just voting and governance too. Okay. So let's see. Hey y'all. So our consensus mechanisms. I'm trying to see how I want to ask y'all. I want to ask y'all a question. Okay. Let me know. Let's just say 1 for yes, 2 for no. Are consensus mechanisms and consensus algorithms the same thing? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Just drop a 1 if you think a consensus mechanism and a consensus algorithm is the same thing, and a 2 if you don't think it's the same thing. Just let me know. So are consensus mechanisms and consensus algorithms the same thing? 1 for yes, 2 for no. I love Steven, because 3 for, yeah, I don't know. Thank you for your honesty. Appreciate it. Okay. So the consensus of the group is no. No, in practice, the terms of consensus mechanisms and consensus algorithms are often used interchangeably. Okay? And the distinction between them may not be important in most cases. So when you're going through and you're researching and you see the term consensus mechanism, sometimes they mean consensus algorithm. They do mean different things, but for some strange reason in the crypto community, that they're interchanged. Okay. Consensus mechanism refers to the overall process that blockchain networks use to achieve agreement among the nodes, right? So that's what it refers to. It encompasses not only the specific algorithm used to reach consensus, but also other aspects such as the network topology, the role of the nodes in the consensus process, the economic incentives for participating in consensus, and so on. So that's kind of what's bundled into mechanism. Now, as far as consensus algorithm goes, on the other hand, it refers specifically to the technical algorithm or protocol that the blockchain network uses to reach agreement among the nodes. Okay, so there is a difference. The mechanism is more of an all-encompassing term. Algorithm is a more specific term inside of the consensus. But when you are reading and doing your research, they might use them interchangeably. So I just want you guys to know that in advance. Okay, we are going to cover quite a few algorithms today. And this is not so much gotta have it information, but it's good to know, especially if you're doing research. Okay, so what are consensus algorithms? Consensus algorithms, because this is another term for you guys today, are the backbone of any blockchain, right? They are the way that all of the nodes on the network agree on a common state of the blockchain, right? They are, I think, well, it's too many now, but there are more than a dozen different types of consensus algorithms that have been implemented in various cryptocurrency networks. Consensus algorithms stop people from doing fraudulent activities in the cryptocurrency space. They prevent people from spending the same cryptocurrency more than once. We talked about the double spend problem last week. Okay. They prevent people from creating new coins out of thin air. Consensus algorithms are an integral part of a cryptocurrency. They also prevent anyone from tampering with the blockchain, from messing with the records or changing the order of transactions. Because we talked about just standing in those lines waiting for your transactions to go through the process of being validated. You don't want anybody jumping the line, so a consensus algorithm would be put in place to prevent there from being changes in the order of the blocks. I don't want your transaction happening before mine, and I've already been waiting. I've already submitted mine. So it prevents things like that from happening. Okay? But overall, consensus algorithms ensure the security, integrity of the blockchain, just to make sure that stuff is going straight, right? It makes it so that it's trustable, it makes it so that it's reliable, and it helps to keep things transparent, okay? And I'm going to give you guys some terms. I'm going to drop in the chat a couple different let me see if I could pin it. Let me see. Pin. Okay. So, proof of work is a consensus algorithm. Proof of stake is a consensus algorithm. Delegated proof of stake is a consensus algorithm. Proof of authority, proof of burn, proof of capacity. Those are just 6. There are dozens, okay? But those are 6 consensus algorithms, okay? And I'm going to drop you guys 6 more, so you guys can take a screenshot of them if you want. And this just gives you a little bit of homework, is to take a look, or just take these notes, because we're going to go over them. I'm not going to leave y'all hanging. Let me see. What is the Byzantine? I want to give y'all Byzantine, but I think I ran out of characters. Yeah, I did. This is the second one. I'm going to pin this one for you too for a second. This is proof of elapsed time, proof of history, Byzantine fault tolerance. Let's see. Federated Byzantine agreement. I need to give you terminated Byzantine fault tolerance and directed acrylic graph. Okay, cool. So y'all can hit that drop down and take a screenshot if you want to really quick. We are going to go over all of these. They will be in the recording for those of you who are taking notes. But each of these consensus algorithms has its own unique characteristics and trade-offs. And the different cryptocurrencies and blockchain networks use different consensus algorithms depending on their specific needs and goals. So, what can I relate it to for you? Okay, let's use cars for a second. And I'm not a engineer by any means, but let's use cars for a second. Let's use vehicles for a second. Some vehicles are meant to carry passengers, like school buses. They're meant to carry passengers. So because a school bus is meant to carry passengers, it sacrifices its ability to go fast. It sacrifices its ability to be able to park anywhere because it's smaller size, right? And then you have some vehicles that are meant to go fast. Two-seaters, you know, those foreigns that people like, they're meant to go fast. They sacrifice the ability of carrying a family. It's not a family car, right? It's a two-seater. It's meant for you and whoever you ride with to go and get to wherever you're getting kind of quickly. So that's how I think about different consensus algorithms. What is it meant to do? And what is it sacrificing as a result of doing the job that it's meant to do? Okay? So let's see. Proof of work. Okay, so proof of work is a consensus algorithm, and it's also one of the most commonly used and probably the most well-known consensus algorithm in blockchains. In proof of work, network participants or miners, we talked about miners last week, the ones that verify the transactions, right? Miners compete to solve complex mathematical puzzles, and the first miner to solve the puzzle gets to add the new block to the blockchain and receive a reward, right? The solution must be verified by other nodes in the network before it can be added, but proof of work is resource intensive. It requires a lot of computing power, which means it consumes a lot of energy. So proof of work verifies the transaction for you and prevents there from being fraudulent activity, stops the double spend issue. But what it sacrifices in doing all of that is the ability to conserve energy. If you know somebody with a miner, with a crypto miner, if you run into anybody with a crypto miner, a lot of my friends that do it have solar panels, and they have rooms with air conditioners in them dedicated specifically for that, because they are hot. The mining rigs are hot, and they take up a lot of energy. Okay. Two cryptocurrencies that use proof of work though are Bitcoin and Ethereum. Both of them use it. Oh, also in today's lesson, we're going to go through cryptocurrencies that use the consensus algorithms that we're going to talk about. I kind of don't give y'all all the information because you benefit from showing up at class or watching a recording. But yes, the next one is proof of stake. This is another consensus algorithm, and it has a newer approach that's gaining popularity. Some proof of stake networks use a random selection process to choose validators, while others use deterministic algorithms, where it already determines based on X, Y, and Z who's going to be next to compute, right? But the specific method of selecting validators can vary from network to network, and it can affect security, efficiency, decentralization, and network power. Validators are rewarded with transaction fees rather than mining rewards, though. So what that means is if there is ADA or Cardano and Tezos use proof of stake. So if you are a validator for Cardano or a validator for Tezos, you don't get paid in the coin itself, from mining it, you get paid from transaction fees that are happening in those networks. Okay? So that's to give you an idea of what it is and how it works. The next one is going to be, let's get proof of stake random. Well, we'll go over deterministic. Proof of stake deterministic. It gives validators, they're typically chosen based on the amount of cryptocurrency that they have staked or locked up in the network. So proof of stake deterministic, it rewards people who are holding larger amounts of the asset, because holding the asset helps it to increase in value. So if you are a validator on a proof of stake with a deterministic algorithm cryptocurrency, then you're getting paid because you're holding more, you're keeping the value higher longer because people are not buying it off and selling it. This process is used to incentivize network participants to act in the best interest of the network. Because you are holding the asset, you are actively going to make sure that the asset is performing well, right? The validators have a vested interest in acting in a legal, moral, and ethical way because they have a certain amount of cryptocurrency locked up in that specific project, right? So 2 cryptocurrencies that use deterministic processes for proof of stake are Qtum, is QTUM, and Cosmos, or Atom, for y'all who are Atom fans out there. And have fun doing a little bit of research to see how these 2 cryptocurrencies are using the specific consensus algorithms. That is going to be one of the homeworks, is for you to do homework specifically on Qtum, and I'm going to drop it in there. So, and then I'm going to show you guys where you can find a little bit of information too, because I don't want y'all going to weird places. But let's see. That's that one. Okay. So those are the 2. It's QTUM and Cosmos, or Atom. And I want you guys to see how those 2 cryptocurrencies are specifically using the proof of stake deterministic mechanism. Okay? Hang on for 2 seconds. I'm going to get some water, and I need to turn my heat up. It's cold. Did I just turn my heat tonight? Probably. But, okay. And we're back. Let's see. Now, let's go over the Byzantine fault tolerance, or BFT. This is a consensus algorithm that is designed to be fault tolerant, meaning that it can continue to function even if some of the nodes in the network fail or behave like maliciously, right? The Byzantine fault tolerance uses a multi-step process to reach consensus, and is often used in permission blockchains, which are blockchains where participants are known and trusted. So 2 cryptocurrencies that use the Byzantine fault tolerance are Ripple and Hedera Hashgraph. And just so y'all, it's Hedera Hashgraph. It's just weird how they put it in there. And then Ripple, or XRP. You guys, we about to pause real quick because I want to give y'all some information. I'm not actually about to have y'all do, I don't want y'all to do the Qtum and the Atom homework. I want y'all to do the homework on these. I want y'all to do a little bit of research on Ripple. We're going to have a Ripple discussion. We could probably do it at the beginning of class on Thursday, but I am going to drop the discussion on YouTube. We might even do a live on YouTube this weekend. We'll see what the discussion looks like. But the reason why I would prefer for you to do some homework on Ripple is because Ripple is one of the cryptocurrencies that the U.S. government is trying to use. It is already in the banking industry. It has been in the banking industry since at least 2019. Bank of America uses or has been doing research on how to use Ripple. I want you to have this information. Ripple is one of the cryptocurrencies that is not going anywhere. We know that our current elected body of people are cryptocurrency friendly. And with them being cryptocurrency friendly, there are certain cryptocurrencies that you want to make sure that you know about. And Ripple, since we're going over this lesson, I want you guys to understand more about Ripple. I want you to get what Ripple does. Okay? And again, it uses the BFT, or Byzantine fault tolerance. But I would love for you to do research on Ripple. Okay? The next one, let's see. Proof of burn is an interesting one. Proof of burn is a consensus algorithm where users destroy or burn certain amounts of cryptocurrency to participate in a consensus process. So this is used in a way to reduce inflation and redistribute wealth within blockchain networks. There are two cryptocurrencies that use proof of burn. One is Binance Coin, or BNB Coin, and one is Slim Coin. They're pretty interesting as well, just as because they do use the proof of burn. But let's see. I want to go over, I want to pull up a website for you to use for your research, because I want you guys to have a good starting point. So this is going to be one of them. Give me 1 second. Let me pull everything up. I want to move y'all over to this screen, and then I'm going to open up this, and I'm going to, let's go ahead and share this. What is it? This screen. Perfect. I'm gonna make myself a little smaller. I'm put me right here. What's all of this? Oh, let's move the image up under there. There we go. Put me right there. Okay, and then I'm gonna zoom in so y'all can see this. Perfect. Okay, wanted to share that. So this is CoinGecko. CoinGecko is one of the research sites that I use because they do keep you up to date as far as current volatility in the market. We talked about volatility week 2, but it lets you know what different tokens and coins are doing in the market, what they've been doing the last hour, 24 hours, 7 days, what their 24-hour volume is, which is how much money has been flowing in and out of that asset, what the market capitalization is, right? So this is a good place to come. You can see cryptocurrencies by market cap, by categories. You can see different chains. There are highlights now, which I appreciate. Trending coins, top gainers, top losers. What I want you to never, ever do is buy based on trend. Okay? And we'll revisit this conversation a little bit later on down the line. But please do not buy based on trend, because some of those cash grabs are crazy. Okay? Exchanges, different cryptocurrency exchanges. It gives you a list specifically of decentralized exchanges. We will have a conversation about derivatives. But let's click on decentralized exchanges. My favorite decentralized exchange is Uniswap. I'm gonna drop this in the chat. The reason why I love this one is because it is user friendly and it does not store your digital assets. It's user friendly and it does not store your assets. You have to connect the wallet to it in order to do your transaction, and it doesn't keep your wallet connected. It's super user friendly too. Let's see who else is on here. And you're gonna see Uniswap on here a couple times because there are different versions of it. PancakeSwap is pretty easy also. Who else do I trust? I haven't seen SunSwap. Open Ocean, no. No, no, no. Yeah, lots of Uniswap. Oh, D-Gate is on here. That's only like if I need to. Quick Swap is not bad. Pancake Swap, different versions of Pancake Swap. When you see it's Pancake Swap, Sushi Swap, and a couple other ones, they're just like remakes of Uniswap also. That's why I like Uniswap, because they were the first of their kind. So I prefer them. But let's get out of here. And for you guys who are popping in, let me give you the this website, and we're gonna break it up. Hold on, let's do this first. Uniswap is what we were talking about, and we're gonna break this up because you cannot drop links in the chat. But that way you have CoinGecko.com, because that's what website we're on right now. We will go over NFTs and how to research them. It is very sticky and tricky. Let's see. They do have an entire Learn Crypto section, which I do like. Let's see. I don't do products for them. One other thing that you really want to pay attention to on this particular website is gas fees. Okay? If you are exchanging a cryptocurrency, if you're purchasing a cryptocurrency, and it just so happens to be an ERC20 token, ERC20 tokens are tokens that were built off of the Ethereum network. If it is built off of the Ethereum network, it has an Ethereum network gas fee. Okay? It is a charge for you to make a transaction. The reason why I'm pointing this out is because you want to make sure gas fees are low. If the gas fee is low, that means the transaction fee is going to be low. That means it's not going to cost you a lot to exchange, swap, or purchase. Okay? So, you want to pay attention to gas fees. Right now, it's extremely low. Very, very low. What's the difference? You don't sound ignorant, Nanny, at all. So, Nanny, you are a new student. Thank you for coming. You don't sound ignorant at all. The difference between Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is Bitcoin is the grand poobah. Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrencies in general are things like this. Let's go back over to the full list. I want to do by market cap. These, so you see how Bitcoin is number one. These are cryptocurrencies or altcoins or alternate coins to Bitcoin. That's the difference when you're talking about Bitcoin versus cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is the first. Other cryptocurrencies are just, they're not first. They're altcoins, alternate coins, or other coins. Okay. So thank you. Y'all can drop y'all questions. Y'all know we start wrapping up around 45. But y'all can start dropping y'all questions. Yes, there are. So on here, it's showing you that there are 17,156 different cryptocurrencies. There are more than 17,156 cryptocurrencies, but this website is listing 17,000 of them. Okay? So it's listing 17,000 altcoins. Altcoins are alternate coins to Bitcoin. Coins that are not Bitcoin, but it also gives you Bitcoin info. Okay? So let's see. If y'all got more questions, drop them. I'm happy to answer them for you. And then remember, if you are new to the class, this recording is going to go up on YouTube for you. So you'll be able to catch the two that were before this, because this is class 3. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the YouTube channel. The link is that little box up there. And then if you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure that you're doing the homework. You are getting homework and project assignments in this class. Let's see. I don't want to show y'all the games yet. There are crypto games. We're not going over API. No, Coinbase is not the only place to purchase Ripple. You can purchase Ripple a couple different places. You can purchase Ripple on different exchanges that give you the ability to purchase. If it is an exchange that you're using that only gives you the ability to exchange, then you would take a different asset. So think about Cash App. Do not use Cash App regularly for this. But think about Cash App. You can convert your US dollars into Bitcoin on Cash App, and then you can go into, I'm going to give you guys like, well, let's pull up MetaMask. So metamask.io. Perfect. So there are different exchanges that give you the ability to connect a wallet like MetaMask to it, and you can purchase from something like Cash App or something like Apple Pay, because you can purchase cryptocurrency using Apple Pay for certain exchanges, and then you can exchange that cryptocurrency or swap that cryptocurrency into Ripple. Okay? Coinbase is a good place to, I'm not going to say a good place to start. It's an easy place to start. It's not the best place to start, but it's an easy place to start. Okay? I do have a video on my YouTube channel that is specifically for purchasing on Coinbase. Let me pull it up for you guys so y'all can see the thumbnail. And it might be one you want to watch. Let's search my channel. We're going to search Coinbase. And I got multiple monitors. That's why y'all see me looking over here. Let's drag this here. So, Coinbase to Exodus, a full walkthrough of how to move cryptocurrency from Coinbase, that exchange, to an Exodus wallet. Okay? So, this, and I'll drop that right there. This one is a full walkthrough video posted a couple years ago. Oh, no problem. But let's see. Let's go back here. There we go. Some of the things that you want to look for. Don't use. Yeah, you can use Cash App to purchase it, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's so with. First of all, this is not financial advice. Please consult a financial advisor, okay? But you do have to pay taxes. Cash App does send you a. Do they send you a 1099 or a W-2 at the end of every year? They send you a statement for your gains, because they do report any transactions of money that you receive as income. So that is why I would not recommend using that particular app at all for that. But consult a financial advisor, especially someone who might be very well versed in crypto and can give you financial advice on the tax ramifications of using an app like Cash App to purchase a digital asset like Bitcoin. There are a couple places that are no-nos for crypto. Cash App, what's the name of that thing? It's another wallet. No problem. It's another wallet I gotta think of. Another place that where you can invest. Robinhood, you don't do. No. That dude, no. You said a bank? Okay, no. I need all y'all when we get done. Okay, when we get done, go to your banking app, log in, and at the top, I'm getting rid of banks because the U.S. government is currently in the process of removing FDIC insurance from banks. FDIC insurance, as well as a few other organizations that are attached to banking transactions, help the general public or people like you and I from getting defrauded and things like that with our transactions. Okay? So, Go to your banking app, and when you tap the screen on your banking app, mine specifically says FDIC insured, backed by the full faith and credit of the United States government. Two things that it don't have. It don't have faith, it don't have credit. Okay? Yeah, no FDIC. Yes, credit unions are fine. That I'm actually in the process of I just spoke to a banker that I know that's at a credit union. And I have an appointment to set up and open up an account tomorrow. So, yeah. And it's just because the government is specifically attacking FDIC insurance. FDIC insurance insures your account and helps you as a consumer to prevent loss of up to $25,000 in is it $25,000 or $250,000? It's 25 and a whole bunch of zeros after, and I can't remember how many. But it prevents you from losing money. And it without FDIC insurance, things like bank runs can happen. Let's do this real quick. We're going to make that small. We're going to move me back down here. My bad for zooming in and out on y'all. But okay, yeah, 250,000. Thank you so much. I knew it was zeros after it. I just didn't know when it stopped. But yes, $250,000. Your money is insured in a bank that uses FDIC insurance, but without FDIC insurance, you have the ability of a bank going bankrupt and you not being able to be saved by that insurance. So if the U.S. government is going after FDIC insurance, that means that they're going after banks. If they're going after banks, I will not keep my money in banks. I will not. And purchasing crypto through a bank is also very, 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 very bad. Okay? As I told y'all, Bank of America has been dibbling and dabbling with Ripple, right? Bank of America dibbling and dabbling with Ripple. Because I used to have a Bank of America account, got rid of it quickly. There used to be in their terms and conditions a clause that said if you had cryptocurrency in their bank and you passed away, your loved ones could not get it. Cryptocurrency would then transition to the bank for ownership. It would not go to your loved ones. It would go from you who has passed to them instead of the people who you may have left it for, because of the digital assetness of it all. Right. So purchasing cryptocurrency from banks is awful. We are going to be going over. No, I don't trust them either. And I used to love banking with them. I fell out of love with them because I trade a lot. And I trade digital assets, I trade futures, I trade stocks, and I had regular investments that were happening in my bank account, and I would walk to the bank, move my money over, have a conversation with my regular group of tellers, and I think I did that for like a year. I walked in one day and they didn't tell me about the transactions that were pending, and then they wanted to charge me overdrafts, and I had just deposited money in there. Like I was walking to the bank, depositing money, and then moving stuff around so that I could purchase my whatever assets I was purchasing. And I had some that were preset to go in, and they didn't say anything. I'm like, I've been walking to y'all for a year. I've been having conversations with y'all, and nobody could say anything to me. No, run me my money. Like, I'm making y'all money because the amount of money that I got in here, y'all are definitely loaning out. So run me my money. Closed all of my bank accounts then. Like, and I have 4 or 5 different accounts with them because different assets coming out of different accounts. Yeah, don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. Don't play with my money. Like, it took me probably a week to get all my bank fees back that they wanted to charge. No, we're not doing that. We're not playing that game. So yeah, definitely. But yeah, we don't play with crypto and banks, and that is one of the reasons why Ripple is y'all homework. Ripple is your homework. Thank you for the gifts. Ripple is your homework. Ripple, I want you to look into it. I want you to let me know what we find. This is what our discussion is going to be. And like I said, we're either going to have the discussion on YouTube or in the little community section. You couldn't withdraw it. Why? You had to take it out via the... Oh, so that happened to me once, but it was because the bank didn't have the money available. That's the other reason why I stopped messing with them for real. Because if you don't have what I have in my bank account available, you need to call another branch and run me my money. Period. Find me your branch manager, please. Make this happen. Bring me a bag of my money. Like, yeah, I don't play them games. Exactly. Y'all holding pieces of what I dropped off. I dropped off $1. Y'all loaning out 90 cents. We're not doing that. What do I look like? Ooh, don't get me upset about my money. But yeah, it's definitely Bank of America is not a bank for me. Wells Fargo is not a bank for me. Not at all. I did have a Huntington account, but like I said, my Huntington account says backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. Two things I don't have. So no. Oh, no. Wells not. No, Wells, no. Wells restricts a lot of cryptocurrency transactions. Just, yeah. They restrict a lot of like cryptocurrency transactions and just transactions in general. Wells Fargo blocks a lot of stuff. And I need my money to move freely about the country, right? And it does not let me do that. It's not a specific credit union because all credit unions kind of have the same structure. I am in Detroit. There is a credit union specifically in Detroit. But there are credit unions nationwide that do right by people. Let me pull it up because I can't remember the name of it. Let's do this. Give me 1 second. I gotta figure out how to formulate this. Oh, you're in New York. So if there's like, you're in New York, or like what city in New York? And give me a second. I'm just trying to think of how I gotta write down this question. But yeah, what? Oh, you in Queens? So is there like a credit union of Queens? Because if there is, then that would be something that I would look into. And you can always schedule appointments. Like I said, I have an appointment. I talked to them today, the credit union that I'm joining. I talked to them today, and then I have an appointment for tomorrow. So I'll be going tomorrow. If the FDIC backs banks, yeah, just check. Let's see. Oh, it's called the NCUA. Okay, so credit unions are backed by the NCUA, and the NCUA is the National Credit Union Administration. Okay, they're similar to the FDIC, but they do the same thing. They do the same thing for you, and I'm not giving you that, Mike. We already in close quarters, I see. But do a little bit of research. There is specific credit unions for union workers, for teachers, and things like that. So you essentially, what I have learned, because I was not a credit union person at all in the beginning, and I do research on everything. What I have learned is there are different credit unions that cater to different groups or interest groups. So you would want to join a credit union that's going to benefit you based on your interest and based on what they can provide. Okay. Navy Federal is kind of a no-no. They're being sued for unethical practices. It's a lot. It's a lot. I think we did that to them. You funny. Yeah, I think we did that to them. But it's called the National Credit Union Administration. That's the FDIC of credit unions. Okay? And both NCUA, Both them and FDIC insure deposits up to $250,000 per insured institution. So yeah, that would be a good way to go for credit unions. And I'm not, like I said, not a financial advisor. I just do a lot of research. I kind of know what questions to ask. So I'm going to drop some questions for you guys. Leave. Don't. Okay. Hi, my name's Chrissy. I want to talk to you really quick about what you shouldn't put up with. Okay? There are certain things in life that are absolutely unacceptable. Okay? If you have a financial institution that is not doing right by you, then you should leave them and move your money somewhere else, because they are benefiting from you being there. You can unbenefit them. It just costs you a couple minutes of setting up an account at another financial institution. Healthcare is also another thing that I will not sacrifice. If your doctors, okay, yes, this is definitely a PSA. If your doctors or your medical professionals have ever made you feel uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form, you change medical professionals immediately. You do not have to give them a reason. If you are an insured person seeing your medical professionals, be sure to file a grievance or a complaint about that medical professional. In the medical field, grievances and complaints are 100% anonymous. You can do the same thing for your banks. Those are two things. Okay, yes, it is time to unbenefit them. There are two things that I do not sacrifice. We do not play with my money. Three, actually. I'm happy I was on mute at the beginning of this because I was on the phone with my son. You don't play with my money. You don't play with my health. You don't play with my baby. And if you want to throw a fourth one in there, don't touch my car. You don't mess with those things. So things that actively mess with my money, I will not chase bank. None of that. Problems, y'all. Chase Bank was sued with a lot of other banks, a handful of other banks, because they were caught on a recording talking about the fees that they were going to implement and how they were going to make up reasons to charge you the fees. If a bank is allowing you to overdraft your account, they're actively charging you, or they're actively putting you in a position where you have to pay them additional money that you already didn't have. I do not like payday loan places. If it was up to me, they would all be up in flames. Cannot stand those places. The cash advance places and stuff like that, no, can't stand it. Can't stand it. Because they're a majority in African American communities and they don't benefit us. Can't stand them. Okay? But yes, this has just been a quick public service announcement. Exactly, Mike. Loan sharks. It's a money trap. See, y'all know. But this has been a quick public service announcement about things that you can do to unbenefit people that are benefiting from you that you can't benefit from. Be sure to unbenefit when necessary. Okay? But for y'all who are watching the recording, we have finished the lesson. The PDF is going to be in the description box of the video on the YouTube channel. Y'all know all of these recordings will be dropped 24 hours later, and all of the links are in the description. You do not have to purchase the PDF. It is a $2 processing fee because I use my own servers. Okay? But yes, you guys have all of that. Y'all can drop some questions in here before we wrap up. It is 8 o'clock. Y'all know I skate at 8. But what questions do y'all have? The little smiley faces is funny. The little laughing faces. What questions do y'all have before we run away? I can't breathe. I think I need to put on socks or a shirt. My nose is getting stuffy. Yeah, what questions do y'all have? And I'll give y'all, let's see, what are 5 questions? Okay, I'm going to drop these questions for y'all really quick. 5 questions to ask when you're researching banks and credit unions. Okay. Um, and what I want y'all to do is I'm gonna drop these. Uh, why did it cut it off? It got a character limit in here. I didn't know it was a character limit in here. Okay. I do not recommend buying more Bitcoin at this point. I do, however, recommend looking into other digital assets that are gaining legs because they're gaining popularity. I have always been one to dollar cost average into different projects. As we go into our lessons, I have decided that I am going to do a bonus lesson with you guys about dollar cost averaging and what it is, what it does really quickly before we run away. Dollar cost averaging is just consistently taking a small or regular incremental amount of money and actively investing it into an asset on a regular basis. So if you're taking $20 every paycheck, you're going to consistently take $20 every paycheck and put it into whatever asset you want over and over and over again like clockwork. Okay? That is dollar cost averaging. I got hiccups. That is dollar cost averaging. When you are dollar cost averaging, it does not matter if the market is going up, down, or sideways. You are going to consistently put that amount of money that you said into that asset like clockwork. Okay? When you are dollar cost averaging, especially if you are doing a smaller amount, anything less than $1,000 at a time, you are investing using a 3 to 5 year plan. You will see a phenomenal return on your investment in most cases because you've done the research necessary to invest in an asset that you believe in, that has legs, that has use case. We will cover that. But it is a 3 to 5 year plan. It's not cool, I'm up today. It's not that. Okay? It's definitely 3 to 5 years. Like, you're going to continue. Okay? Another question. So here are, since we were just talking about banks, what are the bank's fees? That includes the bank's ATM fees. Is there a minimum balance required? What's the account's interest rate? And check to see for the reviews. Does the bank have good customer service? Let's see. And I'm going to give y'all a couple more. But these are just a few things that you want to look into. Hours and location. What type of accounts does the bank offer? Okay. Just a few questions for you guys to look at since we did talk about credit unions and the need for going over to credit unions. You said you just discovered high yield savings accounts, but you would want to see if a credit union has the ability to provide you with a high yield savings account. We're going to have a conversation about high yield savings accounts and why I don't have one. Okay, you're not slow at all. I just started learning about all of this in 2019. I decided to take a class and become a student and learn. So no, I got a job that had a 401k and I was like, well, what is that? And most 401ks are Vanguards, which is like a top bucket of stocks so that's why they grow so well. But when I learned about that, I started dibbling and dabbling in penny stocks and stuff like that. And then once I figured out that I had a consistent interest, then I found a place to go be a student. I'm actually probably about to teach on the platform too. Use whole S&Ps. It's up to you. It's up to you. It's up to you. I'm definitely a stocks and bonds girl, but I'm also wholeheartedly an investor in crypto. So, and then I do have stocks, and I like dividend paying stocks. I like dividend paying cryptos, and we gonna talk about them. You're a stock novice. it's cool to just grab some stuff. If y'all look back, oh, and I can never remember the name of it, but I gave y'all a stock tip maybe 2 months ago about the stock. What is the name of the stock that is for... Okay, let me see if I can find this for y'all real quick. Yeah, Axion. I gave y'all this stock tip. Right, it gives you a whole lot of things. So, informational purposes, okay? Not financial advice or assistance. Consult a professional. But I gave y'all the information for Axion because I was investing in it before the election happened. Just before we hop off, because we've went on another tangent. But Axion is the company behind the body cams for law enforcement. When I talked about that stock, it was 400. When me and my group jumped in, 24 hours later, it was 600 per share. So, yeah. So, we do definitely talk about... And the reason why, just to reiterate this, and I should probably do this on every one of our lives, the reason why I will never tell you to go buy a specific crypto is because the purpose of the education that I provide is to teach you how to do the research that you need to do to invest in the assets that fit your investment strategy and your investment goals. So that's why I don't tell you to go purchase, but I will give you the information to do the research. Okay? And I will tell you from time to time when I am making an investment move like I did with Axion. And I gave the why behind the person's name that came up with the company, why he started the company, all of that. But yeah, that's going to wrap us up here. If you guys are on YouTube and you are watching the recording, I hope you're having an absolutely amazing morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. If you guys are here with me on TikTok, drop your questions on the last post about lesson 3, and then we'll go over those. I'm about to put a discussion up inside of the community for YouTube and up under the post. We're about to do this together. Let's back out really quick. Let me move you all out of the chat and make this smaller. So this is what it is. It's posts. Let me move tap the screen. What is this? This is just text. Let's turn it off. Okay. So we are going to... I don't want to do a behind the scenes photo. And let's chat. So this is... See, I always do that. Hit that T. There we go. This is going to be where we're going to drop our discussion for this week. This is class 3 discussion. Okay. What have you learned about XRP? Let's chat. And we'll go in here. I, of course, am going to drop some pros and cons for investing in it. But this is going to be our discussion for this week. I've given you guys a full breakdown of the assignment that we're doing. We're going to touch base on that assignment next week also. Okay? But see you guys on the next live. Bye. And it's posted. Don't say I ain't posted because I did. Bye, y'all.